Hi, in today's lesson we're looking at the indefinite article in English, and an, and the definite article, the. So we use and an and the before a noun or a noun phrase. That's an adjective and a noun. In this lesson we'll first look at when to use and when to use an, and then we'll look at when to use the indefinite article or an, and when to use the definite article the. Okay, so let's start by looking at when to use and when to use an. So is used before a consonant sound. So we say a car. Here we have a consonant sound, ka, so we use a. And before an adjective and a noun, for instance, a big house, a is followed by a consonant sound, ba, so we use a. But be careful, the importance is the sound of the letter following the indefinite article. If the sound is a consonant, even if it's written as a vowel, we use a. For instance, a university. Here, university is written with a vowel, u, but the sound is y, so we use a. Or a 1-year-old child. Here, one is written with a vowel, o, but has the sound w, so we use a. Okay, we use an before a vowel sound. For instance, an apple. Here we have a vowel sound, a, so we use an. Or an old shoe. Here we have a vowel sound, o, so we use an. But again, be careful. The importance is the sound of the letter following the indefinite article. If the sound is a vowel, even if it's written as a consonant, we use an. For instance, an hour is written with a consonant h, but has a vowel sound, ow, so we use an. And an MP3 player is written with a consonant m, but has a vowel sound of e, so we use an. Okay, so that's when to use a and when to use an dealt with. Now let's look at when to use the indefinite article, that is a and an, and when to use the definite article, that is the. Firstly, and most importantly, we use a and an before a noun when it's the first time you talk about something. It shows that what is referred to is not already known to the speaker, listener, writer or reader. It's the indefinite article. So, for instance, I had a sandwich and an apple for lunch. It's the first time the sandwich and the apple are mentioned, so we use a. But then, as we now know which sandwich and which apple we are referring to, we use the. The sandwich was tasty, but the apple was rotten. The makes the noun specific. Let's compare two sentences. Joe sat down on a chair. We use the indefinite article with countable nouns when we don't know which one we're referring to. It could be any chair. Also, if it's a part of a group, so here we have a group of chairs. Whereas when we say Joe sat down on the chair nearest the door, we use the because we're being specific. We know exactly which chair we're referring to. This one, the one nearest the door. We use the when it's clear in the situation which thing or person we mean. For example, in a room, we talk about the light, the floor, the carpet. Because it's obvious what you're talking about. It's specific. We also use the when there's only one of them, and so obvious what or who we're talking about. For example, the Pope is visiting Ireland. There is only one Pope, so we use the. Or the moon is very bright tonight. Again, there's only one moon, so we use the. This is why we use the with a superlative adjective. For example, he is the tallest boy in the school. Because there's only one tallest boy, so it's specific, and so we use the. Or if you said, I took a taxi to the station, it means the station in the town you're in. There's only one station in the town, so it's obvious from the context which station you're talking about. Equally, you could say, I'd like to speak to the manager. And it's obvious from the context, again, that you mean the manager of the shop you are in. Also, we say go to the bank or the post office. For example, I have to go to the bank and then I'm going to the post office. The speaker is thinking of a specific bank and post office, the one they usually go to, so we use the. We also say to go to the dentist or the doctor, as again it's specific. You go and see your dentist or your doctor, not just any doctor or dentist. So remember, you use the when you're talking about a specific thing or person. And if you use and an, you're being non-specific. Compare these two sentences. I have to go to the bank today. And is there a bank near here? In the first sentence, we are referring to a specific bank. And in the second sentence, we are looking for any bank, not a specific one. This is the main difference between the definite article and the indefinite article. There are other rules for their use which are important to know too, and I'll go through them now. We also use and an to say what someone is or what job they do. For example, my sister is a teacher or my friend is a student. Also, we use and an with a singular noun to say something about all things of that kind. So for instance, a man needs friends means all men need friends. And a dog likes to eat meat means all dogs like to eat meat. However, we use the when we talk about musical instruments. So you would say, David plays the piano really well. Okay, now for the. We also use the with adjectives like rich, poor, elderly, or unemployed to talk about groups of people. For example, I think the rich should pay more taxes. This is referring to the group of people who are rich. We do not normally use the definite article with names, but we do use the definite article with countries whose names include words like kingdom, states, or republic. So for instance, you'd say the United Kingdom, the United States, the People's Republic of China. And also with countries which have plural nouns in their names, such as the Philippines or the Netherlands. We also use the with geographical features such as mountain ranges, groups of islands, rivers, seas, oceans, and canals. So we have the Amazon, the Himalayas, and the Atlantic. It's also used with newspapers, so we'd say the Times, and well-known buildings or works of art. So we could say the Taj Mahal, for instance. Also with hotels, pubs, and restaurants, for example, the Ritz. And finally with families, so we would refer to the Obamas, for example. So that's it for today. I hope you are now clear on when to use and an and the. Remember to like this video if you found it useful and to share it with your friends and colleagues learning English. They'll thank you for it. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button down below now so as not to miss out on new English language videos. Okay, so that's it. Bye bye for now, and thank you for watching.